NYC is the most populated city in the United States. It is home to many ethnicities, cultures, languages, and food. NYC is also home to the New York Fire Department, NYPD, Wall Street, and much more. Along with this many accolades is one uncommonly known fact. One of its illustrious 5 boroughs is the birthplace of the entity most commonly known as hip-hop. Hip-hop's humble beginnings start in the South Bronx. In the 1960s through the 70s, a drug epidemic swept through the Bronx along with the rest of the country. Along with this pandemic, the Bronx was hurt from the withdrawal of government programs, deteriorating public housing projects, and an upheaval of any feel of community. Of course, with all this came unspeakable violence. In retaliation to unsanitary living facilities, police brutality, economic downfall, disintegration of family, and the search for nurture, gangs began to sprout around the Bronx. These groups gave young men and women a sense of pride, safety, and protection, while they terrorized many others. Gangs such as the Savage Nomads, Black Spades, and 70 Mortals built strong reputations and even aided in the drug epidemic. They thrived throughout the Bronx and even included some of those who would go on to help found hip-hop. In the 1950s, Nathan Dukes, a Patterson Home resident, referred to the homes as a step up from prior living commodities. But by the late 70s, it was just as bad as everywhere else. Nathan Dukes goes on to say, "I started hearing about folks I grew up with getting thrown off rooftops. In these moments of decay, young people will start their own revolution." On August 11, 1973, Jamaican native DJ Kool Herc gave birth to hip-hop. At 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the South Bronx, DJ Kool Herc threw a back-to-school party for his sister, Sidney Campbell's birthday. DJ Herc, also known as Clive Campbell, brought turntables and mixed some of his favorite songs to start a new type of music. Charging 25 cents for women and 50 cents for men, he created what would come to be a multi-million-dollar industry. This movement will be furthered by the likes of African Bambaataa, the leader of the Zulu Nation, and a former ex-Black Spade warlord, and Grandmaster Flash. These three, Bambaataa, Herc, and Flash, are known as the Holy Trinity of hip-hop, according to BBC News. African Bambaataa will play a huge part in the nurturing of hip-hop, with creating the Zulu Nation, an organization for the care and development of hip-hop culture. He not only rapped, but he also threw parties in the South Bronx River projects that would keep people from fighting and allowing all to have a good time. Grandmaster Flash, often solely credited for the birth of hip-hop, would take hip-hop to a whole new level, showing it to the world. By developing his amazing DJ skills and creating his group, Grandmaster Flash and the Fabulous Five, he brought hip-hop mainstream. His song and music video, The Message,
push me, call, I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head,
was heard by the rest of the country as it appeared on TV as early as 1982. Along with his group, he expanded hip-hop into global sight, making it a force in the music industry, allowing for its expansion to other subparticles like b-boying and scratch.
And the history in terms of like, it's not just the music that's part of hip hop. You know, there's also the dance and the graffiti and the style behind it. Like people kind of just associate it with the music, but there's a lot more to the culture than that.
Hip-hop just like transcends race, and it allows people to have like a common ground even if they might not even speak the same language, because I know Dominicans that come from the island and they don't even know how to speak English yet, but they know the lyrics to rap songs before they even get to this country. And it's just really incredible how it can bring cultures together even when they're so different.
Hip-hop now had power, giving the people a voice. It became the revolution to all that was going on around the early hip-hoppers in the 70s and 80s. This includes gangs, white supremacy, drugs, and poverty. Hip-hop allowed for people to express themselves.
Hip means to know, hop is movement, awareness, movement, consciousness, and movement or action, intelligence and action, activity. So hip and hop, or hip hop, means conscious movement.
B-boying gave hip-hop a new means of expression. Today, it is more aggressively practiced in countries outside the U.S., including those in the continents of Europe and South America. In fact, Red Bull hosts the Red Bull BC1, a worldwide breakdancing competition once a year. B-boying is one of the many ways hip-hop has spread to the globe.
In the 1970s, in the South Bronx, instead of fighting, dudes used to break against each other. And it's a combination of martial arts, ballet, and, and acrobatics. Yeah, that's true.
Let's say one person will start with you, and they'll say, you want to fight. You'll say, no, I don't want to fight. Let's break for it. If you were to break against that person and you'll beat them, there would be no fight. They'll just be dancing.
Another is scratch. Scratch is an extension of DJing. DJs use two turntables along with some other heavy gear to express themselves through beats and the combination of simple sounds. The South Bronx can still be heard today in many ways, with many hip-hop celebs, including producer Swiss Beats, Mary J. Blige, Fat Joe, Corey Guns, and others. We still hear South Bronx music every day. South Bronx hip-hop can also be seen through its graffiti, its dance, and how beats and styles of South Bronx artists are still used today. And it has yet to lose its poetic grime and edge.